khẩn trợ màu đen khẩn trợ tên gọi
Sangha with great virtues, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, we serve the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to leave suffering, attain bliss and birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth. Hương thính đại đức tạng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, tình chuyên diệu pháp luân giáo đạo nhà môn, như hạ liêu sanh trừ đi khổ đau. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo Saranto Suche Doye, Ola Hodi, Samyo Samputosye.
Namo Saranto Suche Doye, Ola Hodi, Samyo Samputosye.
Namo Tadaka Toya Dara Arahade Tamil Tambo Datoa.
Namo Tadaka Toya Dara Arahade Tamil Tambo Datoa.
The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma, behind 1,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I come to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual meaning. Ô thường thầm thầm mi diệu pháp, bát thiên văn kiên nam đạo màu, ngã kim kiến văn các thọ trì, nguyện dài như lai chân thắng miền. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Venerable YongHua, Venerable Bhikshuni, all Venerable advisors, Amito for all. Ipapota, Enter Water Gima, Enter Mexico, Enter PDK, Yidapa. Where are we? Oh. We're broadcasting about a little late today because we ran over a little bit this morning as usual. Okay, where are we? Oh, I don't know where I'm at anymore. Let's see.
2 more slides.
Next, yeah.
2 more slides.
We left at 280. No, wait.
Which page are we at?
Medicine.
Open hyperlink.
Okay.
Okay, we are on page. Oops. What did I do? Keep on messing up. Sorry, folks. Hang on. Let me. What happened? Okay, it has to be at the proper place before I can open hyperlink. And fifth straight vow, shift F5 to see if it works. Let me try this. Oops. I don't have my mouse. That's why it's not cooperating. Can you go to my room and get the mouse, please? I know that works. See, when I switch gears, I get confused. Sorry about that. Is anyone online today or not?
No.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet. And if we expect one or thank you. No. In the back, computer back.
The mini one.
Where am I? Is that 105?
Yeah, we left off at the 104. So we're
Oh, no.
Start on 105.
Master, the next one.
Next one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on
Yeah,
that
right
one.
there.
Are we
108.
108?
No.
That's right.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Thank you. Okay, there you go. Now I'm happy. I think. Tung. Come on, Tung. It's not working either. Oh.
Giving you a hard time today, Master.
Maybe we need a blackboard.
Yeah, text is still in the blackboard era. But we can manage. Okay,
Yeah.
we on slide 108.
They do have electronic blackboards, by the way.
Okay, 108. Electronic blackboard, yeah.
That's funny.
The fifth great vow, I vow that in the future life when I attain Bodhi, I shall enable limitless and boundless numbers of sentient beings who cultivate Brahma conduct within my Dharma to perfectly uphold the three clusters of precepts without exception. Should there be any violation upon hearing my name, they will regain the purity and not fall into the evil destinies. Nguyện thứ 5, ta nguyện đời sau khi đặng đạo Bồ Đề, nếu có chúng hữu tình, nhiều vô lượng vô biên ở trong giáo pháp của ta mà tu hành, tình hành, thì ta khiến cho tất cả đều không khuyết giới, đầy đủ cả tam tù giới. Giả sử có người nào hủy phạm, khi đã nghe được danh hiệu ta thì hoàn đắc thanh tịnh, khỏi xa ác thú. This section, this fifth vow is about regaining purity once you break precepts. Why is that? If you are Buddhist at all, okay, and you receive precepts at all, now we all know this is our friendly Buddhist secret, very, very ill-kept secret. We all break precepts like crazy. This is why we receive precepts, so that we can break them.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
So this Buddha knows that. See, he's the only Buddha that I know of who has this kind of vow. He says, you guys, I know about you guys. You break precepts left and right, and then you hide it. Cái khổ là bên khi mình Phật tử mình thọ giới một cái là ai cũng phá giới ngày phá giới đề, mơ cũng phá giới, thức tỉnh cũng phá giới. Mà phá giới xong là có cái tật hay lắm, phá phạm giới một cái là giấu, không cho ai biết hết. Nó là Phật tử tụi tôi đó. Phải sư cô, biết sư cô sao thì mấy người đệ tử tôi là phá giới xong nó giấu hết, có đứa nào nói là nói với thầy nó phá giới, nó phạm giới. Thành Phật này không biết, Diệp sư Phật biết là tụi bay là anh gian, thành ra có cái người là giúp mình lấy lại được cái thanh tịnh của giới thể. So we break precepts without even trying, and we're so blissful with breaking our precepts. Okay? Mình phá giới, mình phạm giới nhưng mà không cần tốn sức là cũng phạm giới một cách tự nhiên. Mà mỗi lần phạm giới mình thích lắm. Blissfully because we enjoy it when we break precepts. Okay? And what happens is that it's just like breaking precepts is like a muddy puddle. The dirt is ignorance that prompts us to break precepts, and the water is the wisdom. So the muddy puddle is that we have a mixture of wisdom and ignorance. Giống như cái đống bùn vậy đó. Có nước là ngạo huệ của mình, còn cái đất là cái vô minh của mình. Thành cái nước bùn là cái tình trạng của phá giới. So when you break precepts, you basically are living in a muddy puddle. And in essence, and you break precepts, if those of you who are trying to cultivate, okay, to do cultivation, then it's like trying to cross the sea of sufferings with a leaky vessel. Cultivation is about ending suffering. That's the analogy for crossing the sea of suffering. You cross the sea of suffering from this shore to the nirvana shore. The shore of suffering, the shore of birth and death, is the shore of permanence, of nirvana. Okay, that's the analogy of crossing the sea of suffering. And if you break precepts, your vessel has a lot of leakages. It will not stay afloat for very long. That's how critical it is, folks. It may sound casual, but it's very of utmost importance. Cái này phạm giới cũng giống như là mình đi qua cái biển khổ vậy. Mình tu để mình dứt cái khổ, mình liễu khổ, mình sinh liễu tử. Khi mình đi từ cái bờ sinh tử bên này qua cái bờ niết bàn bên kia, mà đi trên biển như vậy, mà khi cái thuyền mình nó có nhiều cái lỗ lắm, thành nó nước nó chạy vào, thành ra thường mình đi không lâu được đâu, mình sẽ chìm. Okay? Any questions? Are we talking about spiritual powers here? Are we talking about samadhi power? Even before that. Okay? Before you're able to do things, before you're able to... What are you doing? Hey, you back there.
Huh?
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm trying to change the papers.
Yeah, good, okay. He finds it more important to change paper than listening by the lecture. Yes.
I can hear it from here.
Yeah.
Good, Danny, good.
Yeah. He's paying attention, of course, to the lecture.
Dual processing.
So much for single-mindedness and chance. No criticism. I did ask him to help with fixing, with the printing. So serves me right. Okay. Yeah.
Như thầy nói là các vị thọ giới rồi sau lại phá giới, thì con thấy là Đức Phật đó rất là từ bi, ngài không có ép mình phải thọ giới, mà khi mình thọ giới là mình đã tự nguyện chứ không phải bị ép buộc. Thì khi mình thọ giới tại sao mình phải phá giới?
Tại mình thích. Tại mình thích phá giới. Phá giới tại mình không muốn mình phải phá. She says, no one is forcing, the Buddha doesn't force us to take precepts. Okay, no one is forcing you to cultivate. No one is forcing you to receive precepts. Then why are we breaking precepts? I'm telling you, we break precepts because we like it. The precept, for example, the precept says, do not lie. We love to lie, don't we? Not really?
But I do it.
You have any money in your wallet? Of course not. What do you think I am? A rich man? Bill Gates? So,
I don't have a wallet.
Chúng sanh mình ở trong cái vô minh này nè, mình thích thú làm những cái gì So we break precept because of ignorance. We do stupid things because of our mental state of mind. Mình phạm giới là tại vì tự động cái trí mình, cái tâm trí mình như vậy, cái trạng thái cái tâm trí mình như vậy. Okay? And it comes from desires. Thường phạm giới là tại mình thỏa mãn cái dục tính của mình. Mình cần thỏa mãn cái dục tính của mình, thành mình phải phạm giới. So what happens is that when you need to fulfill your desires, you will voluntarily and blissfully break precepts to get what you want. True or not? Hmm? Okay. Trả lời được chưa? Hay là sư cô không đồng ý? She's not happy about that. She says, cultivate something lofty and perfect and beautiful and wonderful. I say, no, honey. Cultivation is hard work. It's reality. It's dirty. It's ugly. If you go beyond the dirtiness and ugliness, you find beautiful things. That's reality, folks. Ugliness and beauty exist at the same time. If you can find ugliness, then you can also find beauty. Không phải tu hành không phải là cái gì không đẹp đâu, cái gì cao thượng là hay lắm đâu. Cái tu hành nó cực lắm, tu hành là khổ sở lắm, tu hành là toàn chuyện không vừa ý thôi. Mà chính trong cái chuyện không vừa ý, trong cái khổ sở đó, mình thấy được cái sự thực sự, cái đẹp thực sự. Cái đẹp mà quý vị thấy được ở ngoài thế gian pháp mà nó cái đẹp giả, cái đẹp con da, cái đẹp để mình cái đẹp khi mình tu mình thấy được cái đẹp của sự thật. Okay. Sư cô coi kia nhỉ học, vẫn bất mãn như thế. She's still unhappy about it.
Thầy nói cái đoạn sau là con chấp nhận là tu là rất là khổ, nhưng mà trong cái khổ nó khi mình thấy được một cái điều rất là hạnh phúc ở trên cái điều đồng ý với cái đạo mà con nghĩ là các cư sĩ tại gia, tức là mình gọi là Phật tử mà thọ giới, tại sao lại phá giới mà lại thích phá giới, mình đã còn thắc mắc vậy đó. Tự vì thọ giới Phật không ép, mình tự nguyện thì mình phải giữ, mà mình thích phá thì đừng nên thọ. Con nghĩ gì?
She says she has no problem except in breaking the precept thing. Especially, she's really concerned about the lay people who are not forced to take precepts. Who when they take precepts because out of their sincerity they take precepts. And how come they break precepts? She still does not understand that lay people. She does not believe that lay people who, since they want to take precepts out of their own free will, they would voluntarily break precepts.
Human nature.
That's because she's left the home life pretty young, so she hasn't gone through the desire mill yet. Yeah, those of you who knows about the boy and girl thing, the birds and the bee thing. Okay, you know that once you get involved in that, it's you're a different person. Sư cô xuất gia hơi sớm đi, sư cô mà còn đã qua chuyện trai gái này thì sư cô biết một khi mình dính vào cái chuyện trai gái mình là con người khác. Đó là một cái ví dụ thôi. Thế là nhiều khi mình phá giới, mình phạm giới tại vì nhiều khi mình không đủ tự chủ, mình phạm giới. Okay, so that's why the Buddhists, even though we receive precepts, we accept precepts, we cultivate precepts, Dharma, very often we can't help ourselves. We have no self-control. Okay, so the question should be then, and why bother taking precepts? Since you know you're gonna break them. Cái cô sư cô phải hỏi thiệt sự là nếu như vậy thì như vậy thôi thọ giới làm gì? Mình biết mình phạm giới thì thọ giới làm cái gì?
Right, well, that is a very good question. You know you're going to break them.
Yeah, you're not going to break it. Not only that, she said she comes from a perspective that you Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, you are the one who created precept Dharma, and you give it to us, and then we break precepts, me included. So what are you up to? What's your point? What are you trying to prove? Right? That's the main thing. The bottom line. Thực sự là mình phải nói là tại sao Phật Bồ Tát mà là chế cái giới pháp ra làm gì để mình phạm giới, đúng không? Chính Phật chế ra, Phật nói là trước đâu có giới đâu, Phật nói bây giờ ta chế cái giới để quý vị tu. Thì tại sao Phật cố ý làm mấy cái pháp để làm khổ mình thêm? Why is that?
Because it's like a long path. If you never start and say forget about precepts, you'll never get going. This path is so long that we're going to fail and fall a lot, and that's just a part of it. And we just have to do our best to keep trying to get up. Every day, lay people, we have to fight the desire and follow the precepts, all the time.
But what's the big deal? What about the people like the worldly people, the smart people who says, or the non-Buddhist people, or even the Buddhists who do not take precepts? They don't need to know about precepts. So what's the big deal?
The Mahayana precepts, samadhi and wisdom goes in that sequence.
Yes, but so what? So what? Never mind about samadhi. I don't want to cultivate samadhi. I just want to have a happy life. Can't you Buddhists give me something that makes me happy, that brings happiness to my life? Why do you have to make make my life miserable?
It's not about making you miserable. It's about trying to unfold our own inherent wisdom. That's the ultimate goal. So, if you want to be happy, it's okay too.
Yes.
But Master, it's kind of taking over and over tone here of like you're going out there and deliberately like I'm going to do this one today, I'm going to do that one today, and it isn't. For me personally, it isn't. There's an awareness that I have taken precepts and I don't want to break them. I do, yes, but it's not a deliberate act of an intent. I'm aware of the seriousness behind the vow of the precepts.
But why do you take the vow in the first place? You were fine. You were doing just fine before you became Buddhist, weren't you?
There was still quote unquote sin in my life. There was still that part of my being that made me conscious of honesty and my behavior. And this just, again, for me, it was even a more in-depth consciousness of my behavior and of being a better person.
Nghe có hiểu chưa không? Đại khái là người ta cứ nói nó quanh nó cò hỏi là tôi cũng cần dịch cái này lắm, mà tại vì một người nói là phải cần giới định huệ mà tu mới được. Nói của chứ người ta muốn tu định sao bắt người ta thọ giới làm cái gì? Đâu có ai muốn tu định đâu, đâu có ai muốn huệ đâu, ta muốn sung sướng thôi. Muốn lại Phật pháp mình không có gì làm ta sung sướng nữa, mà không cần tu nữa. Còn có người có bà kia là bà nói là tôi có thấy cuộc đời tôi thiếu, tôi có làm những cái trật, tôi muốn sửa những cái trật đó, không biết những cái trật để sửa. Okay? Guys, it's even very fundamental here. Precept is not something to bind you down. Okay, it's something to inconvenience you folks. It's not meant to be that. Quý vị hiểu lầm rồi. Cái giới không phải là cái để làm quý vị tổn thất, làm quý vị ràng buộc lại. Okay? That's not what precepts are about. It turns out to be that way. To be truthful. Thiệt ra chung quy nó thành cái chuyện ràng buộc. But it's for a reason. Okay? Precepts basically are a description of where the dangers are for you. Cái giới là cái nó mô tả cho mình biết cái chỗ nguy hiểm ở đâu. Okay? If you do not know where the cliffs are, what if you draw near the edge of the cliff? Okay? You wouldn't know anyway that going off a few more inches, you will lose your life. You probably don't want that, do you? At least you want to be able to recognize the boundaries of where it's still safe. When you get near the boundaries, then you are a lot more cautious, aren't you?
Yes.
Thì cái quan trọng của giới thể, giới là cái giới nó mô tả cho mình biết đó, cái chỗ nguy hiểm chỗ nào. Thành nếu mà trong cái phạm vi mà còn an toàn thì không sao, mình thoải mái được. Còn khi mình tới gần cái mé của nó mới bắt đầu vào cái chỗ nguy hiểm rồi, mình cẩn thận hơn mình thường lệ chứ, đúng không? Just like when you drive, right? When you drive in the middle of the 5-lane freeway, no problem. When you drive on the freeway on an alpine freeway, when you're near the edge of the cliff, you drive differently, don't you? Same thing, because you're aware of the fact you are in the mountain road. You can recognize it. That's the nature of the precepts. Nhưng lái xe trong bình thường đâu có sao đâu. Lái xe trong đường núi thì lái khác nhé, tại vì biết đường núi chỗ nguy hiểm. You see? That's your advantage, folks, Randy, over the non-precept people. Because preceptees are given the information of where they can get hurt, where they can get in big trouble. Whereas non-preceptees do not have that information. So they drive in the mountain roads the same way they drive in the city. Okay? And they get hurt before they know it. Thì con thấy chưa? Thành ra cái giới nó quan trọng gì đó, nó cho mình biết được chỗ nào an toàn, chỗ nào không được an toàn. Does it make sense?
Absolutely. Yes.
It's fundamental knowledge, folks. It's not something lofty or inconvenient. It's essential knowledge for your own survival, for your own safety. Never mind about happiness. You cannot have a chance to be happy. You hurt yourself when you get hurt. Lose a limb. Okay? All the money in the world cannot buy you new limbs. All that. I don't care how rich you are. Okay? Once you chop up your limbs, you're going to attach them again. It's not going to be the same again. Right? That's the nature of precepts, folks. Giới nó quan trọng lắm. Đừng có tưởng không có miếng y, không có giới là mình vào chuyện nguy hiểm, giống như chặt cái tay vậy. Bao nhiêu tiền thế gian này khi mình sư cô chặt tay rồi nối tay lại không thể nào giống như lúc trước nữa. You lost a big thing when you injure yourself. You chop up your limbs. You cannot recover. That's the nature of precepts. Nhớ nó quan trọng vậy đó. Một khi mình mất rồi đó, okay, gỡ lại rất là khó. And this Buddha here, this vow here says, I allow you, I teach you a Dharma here that enables you to be intact as before. That's how incredible this Dharma is. You know, and the amazing thing is, no one practices this Dharma anymore. Lạ nhất là cái pháp nó quan trọng như vậy. Mình dân tu mình biết mình phá giới, mình phạm giới. Không ai tu pháp diệt sự. Okay? And that's why in the text is mentioned the Brahma concept. The Brahma concept basically it's a pure the concept of purity. Cái tình hạnh là cái hành tâm hạnh thanh tịnh. Purity here refers to not committing sexual deviant sex. Okay, cái tình hạnh là thường nó dính về cái chuyện dâm dục. Okay, and when you break precepts, folks, you hurt yourself. The worst kind of hurt you can get is to fall into the three evil paths. Cái tai hại nhất là về cái tu đi phạm giới, phạm giới, đọa tam độ, đọa tam ác thú này là cái chuyện không phải chuyện vui đâu, cái chuyện khó chạy, khó thoát. The three evil paths is extremely difficult to expiate yourself. Extremely difficult. You have no chance, basically, on your own. Okay? And this medicine Master Buddha Dharma here helps living beings remain on the good paths. Pháp Diệt Sư này giúp cho chúng sanh không đọa tam đồ và ở trên những cái thiện đạo. Okay. And upholding of the precepts, nếu mà không khuyết giới, is like a perfectly round and full moon. It's a beautiful thing to see. It's pure beauty, folks. Những cái người giữ giới là những người một cái đẹp lạ lùng lắm. Đẹp to. It's not the phony thing where you put on the makeup and do the hair and that kind of thing. The beauty here, folks, radiates from within. Cái người mà giữ giới không phải là cực đẹp những bên ngoài, như ta phải chải cái mắt, chải tóc, rồi ta phải vẽ bôi son, vẽ phấn, bôi phấn vẽ son. Mà cái đẹp này đẹp từ trong nó phát ra. Okay. Can you recognize those types of people, folks? Stick around long enough, you see, you recognize it. It's beautiful. The kind of beauty that does not incite, that does not create sexual desires. It doesn't excite you. Okay. Anyway, any questions? Ai thắc mắc gì không? See, the beauty as you guys appreciate is the kind that excites you. Okay. And you are able to perfectly uphold the three clusters of precepts. Tam tụ giới. Có thể giữ được tam tụ giới. Clusters of precepts are basically a set of a lot of precepts. Okay. Cái tụ có nghĩa là nhiều cái loại giới khác nhau. Okay. There are three kinds. Precepts of gathering in living beings, cái loại giới mà để nhiếp những cái chúng sanh. Here you widely practice all good dharma for gathering in all kinds of living beings. Cái này những cái loại mình tu những cái thiện pháp để mình giúp đỡ, mình nhiếp thọ tất cả những chúng sanh, tất cả hết, chứ không phải chỉ một cái loại chúng sanh nào thôi. Meaning any kind. We gather in dogs, we gather in cats, we gather in evil people, we gather in good people, we gather in short people, we gather in fat people. No. There are all kinds of dharmas to help us. Okay? Thành mình tất cả mọi người, cái pháp này là pháp để tu, mình giúp hết tất cả mọi người, chứ không phải mình chọn người, chỉ giúp người tốt thôi. And by doing that, you accomplish the transformation body. Tu pháp này sẽ hoàn tất được cái hóa thân. And then the second kind of clusters of pure precepts called precepts comprised of wholesome dharmas. Là những cái tụ thứ nhì tụ giới thứ nhì là cái nhóm để mà tu những cái thiền pháp thôi. Okay. Basically, they cultivate all good dharmas, the 10 paramitas, the 84,000 assisting the way practices. Okay. Những cái thiền pháp gì? Là những cái thiền pháp này là đủ loại hết. Những cái thiền pháp, những cái 10 ba la mật, 8 vạn 4.000 pháp khác nhau để mà trợ đạo. Okay? And basically, all these dharmas are to do no evil and to practice all good. Cái này là gì? Là mình không làm ác, mà mình chỉ làm tất cả những chuyện tốt. Okay? And by doing that, you accomplish the reward body. Làm như vậy thì mình hoàn tất được cái báo thân. Cái báo thân là cái thân của Phật rất là đẹp. The reward body is most adored. Beauty, folks, comes from goodness, from doing good. Not doing evil and doing good. Cái đẹp của báo thân là từ hành những cái thiện pháp, làm chuyện tốt, không làm chuyện ác. When you do evil things, folks, you exude this kind of ugliness that makes people afraid of you and not wish to look at you. Khi mình làm chuyện ác, mặc dù mình có ngọt ngào, mình có thể mặc áo quần đẹp đẽ, nói ngọt ngào, giàu có, nổi tiếng, nhưng mà mình có một cái chúng sanh gặp mình có cái tợ, trong tâm có cái tợ, có cái sợ, không muốn gần, không xa. Okay. Number 3, the precepts comprise of the rules of discipline and deportment. These are the Vinaya and the rules of deportment. Phần thứ 3 là cái phần những cái giới luật. Okay, and by cultivating this cluster of precepts, of pure precepts, you will accomplish the Dharma body, and you will unfold your wisdom. And khi mà tu những cái giới luật này thì mình thành tất được cái pháp thân này. Okay, this is what Randy is referring to earlier about precept samadhi. You do this, okay, you will. This is necessary for you to. This is the foundation of your samadhi power, and thus your wisdom. The first kind of cluster, the precepts of gathering living beings, is to benefit others, like the Bodhisattva precepts. The cluster number 2, number 3 are for self-benefits. Cái tụ đầu tiên đó là nhiếp tất cả chúng sanh, và chẳng như Bồ Tát giới đó, là để lợi ích cho chúng sanh, cho người khác. Còn cái tụ giới thứ nhì, thứ ba là để cho tư lợi. Any questions? No questions?
What's the 84,000 assisting the way practices? Reciting them? Okay.
84 assisting the way practices, meaning that it's just like an army. You have a general and you have 84,000 soldiers. The general cannot make headway, cannot do a whole lot without his soldiers.
Is it something where there is list of them? It's 84,000, or is that a number that is just like an infinite number?
84,000. 84,000 is basically an analogy for a large number. 84,000 is a large number in India. So when you hear 80,000, 84,000 in Buddhism, it means very large number. Cái 84 vạn trợ đạo pháp thì 84 vạn chỉ là số lớn. Okay. There's no list per se. It just they say it's a lot of practices, good practices, wholesome practices, all wholesome practices. Okay, does that answer your question? Okay, there is a caveat here. This Dharma here is that if you violate precepts and you practice medicine Master Buddha, it will help you retain your precept purity, okay, if it were not intentional. If you were to intentionally break precepts and then go and call Master Buddha and practice it so that you can regain purity, it's not going to happen. Cái này là cái giới này thiền nguyện này những cái năm này của Dược sư có nghĩa là không có nghĩa là mình có thể mình cố ý mình phạm giới xong mình tu pháp Dược sư thì mình chịu lửa đâu. Nếu mình cố ý phá giới thì tu pháp Dược sư không giúp được, không có lợi ích gì. Okay, any other questions? No questions? Moving on. The sixth great vow, I vowed in a future life when I attain Bodhi, if there are sentient beings whose bodies are inferior and whose faculties are imperfect, who are ugly, dull, blind, deaf, mute, deformed, paralyzed, and hunchbacked, or afflicted with skin disease, insanity, or various other sicknesses and sufferings, upon hearing my name, they shall all become endowed with upright features, keen intelligence, and perfect faculties. And they shall be free of sickness and suffering. Nguyện thứ 6, ta nguyện đời sau khi đặng đạo Bồ đề, nếu chư hữu tình nào thân hình hèn hạ, các căn không đủ, xấu xa ngoan ngu, đu điếc câm ngọng, luyến què lương cầm, lác hủi điên cuồng, chúng bệnh khổ, khi nghe danh hiệu ta thì liền được đoan chánh hiệp huệ, các căn đầy đủ không còn chịu bệnh. Mấy chữ nó hơi mấy chữ gọi là cổ văn, kể nghe cho nó quen đừng có lo. I told them for the Vietnamese, there's some very old Vietnamese, and just listen to it. It's all right. Body deficiencies, ugly, you don't look so good. Features are out of whack. Dull, not very smart. Blind, you have eyes that you cannot see. Deaf, you have ears you cannot hear. Mute, you have mouth that you cannot speak. Okay? Xấu là vì những cái nét mình nó hơi trật thì loạn sẽ nói. Dốt hơi tối tăm thì trong chùa gặp nhiều người như vậy, ít người xuất gia. Mấy người ta không làm gì được hết mà đi tu. Nó không dùng được nhiều.
Ở bên Nhật thưa thầy, bên Nhật là nửa đứa con thông minh nhất, học giỏi nhất là cho đi chùa đó.
Tại họ giàu, chùa mới biết giàu. She says in Japan they select the brightest and the smartest and those who can study, adapt to study, and they become sanghas. Whereas in Vietnam, it's just the opposite. we choose the ugliest, the most stupid. We send them to the temple. Okay. Not only Vietnam, China as well, folks.
They do that there too?
Oh yeah.
That's mean.
I say it's different in Japan because Japan, the Sanghas, they're very wealthy.
They appreciate it.
No, they have the special rule Sanghas where they get married and they make sure the offsprings are of the like the Aryan race and kind of thing. Okay, so they're very selective with the genes.
It's like in the Jewish religion.
Sounds like a good
priests,
idea to me.
they kept it very clean. They were very caste in Jewish religion. You know, like I think the cantors and the people that did the ceremonies, they couldn't.
Same thing with Brahmins.
Yeah, they couldn't mix with the common people.
Yes.
Would ugly be something that is more than just what we consider handsome features?
Like what? Spit it out, honey. What's bothering you?
Well, they're I don't know how to say it. Like a leprosy would be ugly.
No, that's skin disease. That's later. Skin disease. We're talking about features kind of strange. Okay, which is kind of different because, for example, you go to Africa, their view of beauty is slightly different from ours.
Exactly.
Okay, in Africa, when you have a real tall forehead, okay, and long neck, that's considered to be pretty. Bên Âu Châu, Phi Châu, cái đẹp nó khác mình. Bên kia nó đẹp, cái trán nó phải cao, cổ nó phải dài, mặt nó phải dài.
For the lips that are.
Your lips are thick like Angelique.
Yeah. Okay. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. But then that's.
So different
It's
cultural.
almost like a deformity, almost, kind of.
Well, there's nothing wrong. Angelina's.
But again, it's the eye of the beholder. So that's what I'm saying. Is ugly go beyond just.
No, it's
not
not
good
in the eye of the beholder, honey. It is the way her lips are.
You're so bad.
It's like Jack Palance playing both Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Ugly can be
Lon
attitude.
Chaney.
Yeah, Lon Chaney, same way.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Ugly can be attitude.
Yeah. So it's more than just not good.
No. Actually, in the Asian culture, ugly has to do with attitude and comportment. Because it's the same Vietnamese bên Việt Nam mình đẹp nó có không phải là ngoài cái nét không còn nó hơn thế nữa. Là bên mình có câu cái nét trên chết cái đẹp. Because the Vietnamese are saying cái nét trên chết cái đẹp. See?
Your compartment can be worth more than physical beauty.
No, not that. Cái nét trên chết cái đẹp.
They didn't what? They didn't
Maybe more confused.
like you can understand it the second time you repeat it.
Your appearance reflects your
That doesn't have the
Kevin
translation. That's what he
attitude.
That's true. Your attitude.
Yeah.
No, it's not attitude alone. This is innate.
But I know
Your
what he's saying.
behavior.
You're right.
Your social graces. Not only behavior, social graces. Cái đấy là
Well, they can
dressing
be
is
your
social
parents,
graces.
too.
See, the Asian, the Vietnamese, we know beauty, believe it or not. Okay, not the way Hugh Hefner looks at it, but
Oh, I don't
but
know.
in the Vietnamese, Hugh Hefner, you have to be a blonde, you have a certain measurements, that kind of thing. That's fake.
That's superficial.
fake.
That's superficial.
Yeah, it's you see the
That's
Vietnamese.
what that sounds like.
Huh?
That sounds like it's superficial. Ugly is not good looking.
Yeah,
That
at
sounds
that point.
superficial.
It's bodily deficiencies. What do you want?
But like,
This is before plastic surgery.
okay, but like the little cleft lips and things like that.
Yeah, right.
Those are, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, actually,
Deformities, right, yeah.
But in Vietnamese, as I was saying, connect meaning social graces. It's not attitude. It's not comportment. It's your social skills. Okay? Đánh chết meaning it kills. It kills by hitting. See, Vietnamese is very precise. You know that? Huh, Janice? Are you paying attention?
I know. Yes.
She's hurting like hell. Why are you talking about beauty? Just make it go away for me. So actually, it beats to death beauty. So your lack of social graces can beat beauty, can kill beauty. That's what it means.
It takes the beauty away.
No, it kills it. Not only takes it away, it kills it. It destroys it. Okay? So, for example, that's why in Vietnam, the mothers are concerned about the social skills and make sure that they teach their daughters the proper social skills so that they can get married.
Well,
Okay?
they used to do that in America.
Otherwise, there's another saying. Would you like to hear another Vietnamese famous saying? Sure. Vô duyên lãng xẹt. See, you miss so much when you know Vietnamese. You cannot translate it.
Well, I want to know what that says in English.
Thầy con thấy là mình giải thích là cái đẹp của tâm hồn hơn là nét đẹp bên ngoài nó dễ hiểu hơn cái
Đẹp không? Nó còn hơn đẹp tâm hồn. Cái này nó còn thực tế hơn là tại vì cái đẹp tâm hồn nó còn trừu tượng, nó còn chưa thấy được. Còn cái này là cái nét mình nếu như mình không biết cư xử, ok, đó là mình không được. Bởi bên Âu Châu á, trước khi mà mấy tụi mà vương hoàng tộc học xong rồi chưa biết nó là gì, nó gửi tới cái trường ở bên Thụy Điển, nó chuyên môn nó dạy về những cái nét thôi. This is very important, not only in the Vietnamese but the European royalties, they know about it. They have something called finishing school.
Yeah.
When you're royalty, you sent to finishing school so that you learn all these social graces. You see, Vietnamese very sophisticated. I have Vietnamese none here today, so I need to pump up a little bit.
But you know, in the European and American tradition, you know, they always talk about the beauty of a person always has to revert back to the golden mean. There's proportions to the body, like the eyes and distance and the face. And plastic surgeons look at it all the time. They study this, you know. And so did Michelangelo before he did all the sculpting. He took calibers and measured human beings, and they figured all this out to, you know, perfect dimensions. Even for us in orthodontics, you have to get the teeth between the lips and a certain right. When they smile, it doesn't show too much gum, but not any gum too, you know. And all these things you have to look at. I mean, this is so when you see a person. Especially when you talk about beauty, as soon as you look at them, it's like you just want to keep looking at it. It's so perfectly proportioned.
Right.
You know, so that's the way we look at it in America.
Yeah. So the Vietnamese is very sophisticated about beauty. So, for example, the way they dress, they have something called the áo dài. It means highlight the proportion of your body. Mm-hmm. So it pinches your waist a little bit more than normal, so that. It's như áo dài mình á, Việt Nam mình khéo mình rất kín đáo, cứ nếp mà nó điều chuyện mà nó bóp cái eo này nọ. Việt Nam mình kinh lắm. Vietnamese girl careful about Vietnamese women, dangerous. You know about it.
Because that kind of dressing is like artistry. It's like to pin something in and make something else look a little bit better.
More so than
it's
the
like
Chinese.
A strategy, you know, in war.
The Chinese don't have it. The Chinese are ji pao. The ji pao is nothing compared to the áo dài, right? Right, Jimmy? You know what I'm talking about? You seen the Vietnamese áo dài, huh?
Yes.
Huh, Danny? Everybody. Stay there.
You lost Danny about 5 minutes ago.
But this African tribe that you were talking about earlier, though, I mean, they would consider that just a normal, mundane, like just another typical type of to wear if it was the high forehead, the long neck, that kind of stature. That to them would be the ultimate of beauty.
Right. But no, this is not about not good looking. Not good looking here refers to the fact that features are not appreciated culturally. For example, one eye is bigger than the other, or
It's asymmetry
leg
and
is
all that.
asymmetrical, that kind of thing. That's what it means here. It takes into account cultural
It doesn't have anything to do
differences.
with the little waist and all this stuff
Right,
you're talking
right,
about.
right.
No.
Yeah. Cultural differences as well. Okay, are we happy?
As long as we're on the same page of what ugly is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we are. We
Okay.
say it here. We say. And then bodily flaws. Before is deficiency, now it's flaws. It gets even worse. Deformed. Okay? Deformed. Now we're not talking about out of proportion. Now we're talking about crazy. Okay? Paralyzed. Okay? They're not functioning the way they're supposed to. Méo mó. Bị liệt. Hunchback. Bị bú. Gone. Or afflicted with skin disease. That's leprosy, for example. That's a skin disease. Or Michael Jackson, or his skin is kind of black and white, kind of thing. That's. Did I insult anyone today? Did I offend anyone?
You touch everybody.
So we all feel equal.
Yeah, right. Equal opportunity.
That's an example of skin disease.
Oh, I thought it was an example of equality by insult.
That's good, man.
And insanity, okay, bị điên, okay, đó những cái bên nào. So when you hear this Buddha's name, all organs will be complete and beautiful. Nghe được tim, nghe được không danh của Phật mà dược sư Phật một cái là mấy chuyện này nó giải quyết hết. Yes.
In a different life, not this life, right? Because if you really have issues and you hear it.
No,
Oh, yes,
no, you can improve it.
Yeah.
No, you can improve it right now.
You can? It's good to hear. There's the hope. There's hope. Okay? I'm glad you asked.
Now, do you have to have all of those wrong to get that?
No one person has all that. You know what I mean?
A very unfortunate person.
Well, let me put it this
Very
way.
unfortunate.
If you're that unfortunate, you don't deserve to hear this.
Too late.
You're just hopeless.
You missed the train
You
already.
guys today. I mean, come on. All right.
What? I'm kidding.
Next time the Dharma, we put it
At varying degrees, Linda, it's okay. You can have one problem, or you can have 10,000 problems. It's all the same as the Buddha. Okay? No problem. I have some anecdotes for you. In the Song Dynasty in China, back then, okay, the woman who upheld medicine master mantra. Anyone knows a mantra? Of course, none of you believe in mantra. Okay? And he also bows to and recites his Buddha's name. One day she fell sick and requested help from a monk, any monk. And the monk spoke about the cause and condition of this particular Buddha's in Buddha land and his vows and practices, like the way we do here now, Sutra lecture. She felt great joy, and that night she dreamt of Medicine Master Buddha holding a cup of medicine. She drank, began to break sweat, and suddenly felt light ease. She woke up. See? Special effects.
Yeah, I was just going to say. It was right at the right moment.
What was the sickness?
Huh?
They didn't say. You
Whatever
wanted
it
to,
is.
come on, Lindy, now you're
Whatever
getting
it
too
is.
technical.
Yeah. It's not cancer, let me tell you. Okay? So far so good? Sư cô nghe đọc cái này hiểu không? Cái này là bên đời Sung thì sự vật, đời Tống. Tống là người ta giữ cái trì tu cái pháp dược sư này. Bữa cái bị bệnh. Xong ông thầy tu giảng về cái pháp dược sư này. Rồi nghe thích thú với sợ. Cái đêm nằm mơ thấy dược sư Phật tới cầm cái nước. Cái nước là cái thuốc, uống một cái là toát mồ hôi, xong rồi thấy thanh thản, like ease, thanh nhã. tỉnh dậy lạnh. This is what happened. This is documented. This is documented in the Chinese records. Okay, this actually is pretty authentic thing because it's like the miracles in Catholicism, where actually it's verified and it's researched and interview and everything. So yeah, this is documented in the Chinese record. Okay, cái này là trong những cái đời mà họ giữ những cái tài liệu này là đời xưa hoàng đế phải chấp nhận có người chuyên môn giữ những tài liệu, những quan lớn làm những cái tài liệu rất quan trọng. Okay. Second anecdote. Okay, a woman who's blind, and a monk taught her to decide the medicine master Buddha's name. Just decide the Buddha's name. She did for 3 years, and then she could see the whole house. Người bị đu được dạy trì danh hiệu dược sư Phật trì 3 năm thấy được. Okay.
So when in the two slides previously, you saying it was written saying just hear the Buddha names and then it's that give at least for me the feeling that okay it's going to happen really fast.
Right.
But some case it may be at least 3 years, right, before you can see it.
Yeah.
So it depends on the person. It's not like
it depends. That woman probably is different from let's say a bodhisattva. The kung fu is different. The blessings are different. What happened is that không hỏi có lý là tại vì nghe một cái được, còn người kia phải 3 năm mới được. Thế mỗi người cái phước cái duyên nó khác nhau, với cái chướng ngại nó khác nhau. Bồ Tát thì người ta sức nó nhiều hơn, phước nó nhiều hơn. Người ta bị tạm thời bị cái phước nó đợi cái duyên để tới giật nó gạt xong. So each different people have different causes and conditions. That woman, she has a lot of obstructions, so it took her 3 years. Maybe it may take longer for some of us, or maybe less than others, because it depends on your blessings and your obstructions. Okay, but the Dharma is there, right? Okay. Anecdote number 3. In the Qing dynasty, cái thời Thanh, thì có quốc sư là Ngọc Lâm. The national master called Yu Li. Yu meaning jade, Li means jade. Okay, so jade is in Chinese culture. Jade is the analogy for perfection, for beauty, perfect beauty. Is that right, Danny? Are you in samadhi yet? Okay. And in his prior life, he was a monk with deficient organs. Kiếp trước, I see that's typical that the Chinese people who have deformed and so on, they send it to the monastery, and they become monks. Okay. The handsome people, they get married, they have children, and become officials and so on, and they become successful. It's only the ugly ones and the deficient organs that end up being monks. Okay. Kiếp trước là thầy tu mà hơi thiếu thốn mấy cái căn. Cái văn hóa Tàu là vậy. Sống được ngoài thường người ta gửi trong chùa. And yes.
Was he the one that was made into that movie?
Which movie? Which movie are we
The
talking?
movie. Xing Yun was
the hero. Xing Yun was the hero.
No, I think it was based on the movie that
Yeah, and then
it was based on a true story.
drama.
It was a drama.
Yulin, is it Yulin?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's about him. And
his
then
past life, he was hunchbacked.
Yeah, he's ugly indoor. Okay.
And in this life, he became a monk.
National
and
master.
he met a princess that was with him. She was also with him his prior life and whatever. And then
they get married or what?
She became a nun.
Oh, she became a nun? He didn't get married?
No.
Oh, see, it works better that way.
Oh.
So that's Yudi, huh? Ah, he's very famous. Actually, you don't know about it. Only these sea life people, they know about it. Sea life followers, they know about it. He used to be a monk with deficient organs. He used to be ugly and dull. Ugly meaning deformed and hunchback, and dull meaning stupid. Okay. And I go, oh my God, I'm being recorded. There goes. Okay. Thì cái ông Ngọc Lâm này lúc trước là kiếp trước là xấu xí dễ sợ, xấu xí mà đần độn nữa. Bị gu lưng. And back then, at his prior life as a monk, the Buddhist donors made fun of him and looked down upon him. Okay. And back then he heard of Medicine Master Buddha Dharma Door and he practiced it. And now then he became a national master. Most handsome, great wisdom, great reputation, very well known, very famous. Okay? Thì trước đàn na tí chín mà thấy mình xấu xí mà còn ngu nữa là khinh như sao? Cho cúng dường để khinh khi. Để ông mới phát tâm ông tu pháp môn Dược sư. Thì bây giờ kiếp sau thành Ngọc Lâm, đẹp trai dễ sợ, đại trí huệ mà rất là nổi tiếng, người ta không biết nhiều. Okay, so that comes from a known Buddhist personality called Yuli. Okay, very famous national master, là thầy của vua, thầy của hoàng đế. All right, any questions? Yes, question. Over there on the right. Can you use a microphone, please? Is anyone online? No.
No.
Okay, fine. Then don't use a microphone. Actually, use a microphone because it gets recorded, I think. Does it get recorded or not?
No. Okay.
Oh, yeah, yes.
So in that case, is that like the Buddha was meddling?
Of course.
So
he's a Buddha.
Yeah, how did Buddha say?
Besides to meddle?
I mean, pay the debtors.
How does
the Buddha pay his
debt
debt?
for that?
Yeah, the Buddha the suffering.
The difference between, okay, that's a good question. Hỏi là như vậy là như vậy là Phật đang can thiệp cái chuyện người ta, nhưng sao không giải quyết cái vấn đề mà cái nghiệp bây giờ? What happens is that when the Buddha does it, okay, he doesn't get into trouble.
Oh, okay.
When we do it, we get into trouble. That's the difference.
Because he has so much spiritual power.
He doesn't get into trouble.
He doesn't get into trouble. He doesn't create any problems. When we do it, we get into trouble. He doesn't. That's the difference.
When we do it, we ask the Buddha to help this person, and the Buddha doesn't get into trouble, but we got into trouble.
No, we use a tool to help him. His Dharma door is simply a tool that enables us to meddle. He's just like a hammer. You take a hammer and bang, and we laugh. That's why we get into trouble. When he takes his hammer and he bangs it, he does it in a way that it doesn't create problems. when we use it, we don't do it right. That's why we cause problems. We have handles. I know, at least when I do it, I know they get afflicted.
Also, we don't have wisdom. We don't know the right, and then we don't have skill in the way and the means. See,
That's
they
right.
know exactly when to do it. We just look at the side. Oh, they did something, and let's do the same thing. Well, that time for that living being was boom, time to cross over in the perfect time. If you miss it by 1 second, you're off.
Yeah.
We say, oh, we just think about it. Okay, next week we're going to do it. It's not, time is not right. Perfect. You have perfect timing. They know exactly the time to do it.
That doesn't answer your question. You still think the Buddhas will get in trouble. I say they don't get in trouble. Don't worry.
Well, it's their problem.
It's the Buddha. You want me to explain the Buddha state? I don't know what his is. I can only tell you he doesn't get in trouble the way I do.
When you get there, you'll know, Danny. And make sure to come back to tell us. And then come and help me.
Any other questions? It will be clearer as you practice more. Don't worry. Yes.
Did your finger heal?
Huh?
Did your finger heal?
Here. See? It healed. I only showed up. As soon as I show you, go away.
Did the doctor's finger heal?
Huh?
Did the
I don't know.
doctor's
Don't tell me. A man has his, he must know his limitations. Yeah, it used to be a scab last week.
Yeah.
Now see it's black. See, it used to be swollen. It was swollen. And
Yes.
actually herpes is not curable, so it comes back.
Right, it's dormant.
Okay. So good news. But the point is that the different ways of handling it. Okay. It manifests it manifests as an obstacle, okay, or this kind of manifestation. To me, it's only a reminder there's certain leakages in my system. So I look at that and I say, okay, I need to take care of that, and then it goes away. Simple. You see, to me, it's all cultivation. It's not a big deal. Okay. Any other questions? Are we okay? Huh? The printer man? I need to make him happy this afternoon. Okay. The seventh great vow. I vow in a future life when I attain Bodhi, I shall cause sentient beings who are oppressed by many illnesses and who are without aid, without place to turn, without a doctor, without medicine, without relatives, and without family, who are poverty-stricken and filled with suffering, to be cured of their sicknesses upon having my name passed by the ear. So they are peaceful and happy in body and mind. They will have a family and relatives and acquire an abundance of property and wealth, and even realize unsurpassed Bodhi. Nguyện thứ bảy, ta nguyện đời sau khi đặng đạo Bồ Đề, nếu chư hữu tình nào bị những chứng bệnh bức thiết, không cứu, không quy, không y, không thuốc, không thân, không nhà, nghèo khốn đa khổ, mà hễ nghe danh hiệu ta đã nghe lọt vào tai một lần, thì tất cả bệnh đều tiêu trừ, tận tâm an lạc, gia viên sum vầy, của cải sung túc cho đến chứng được đạo quả vô thượng Bồ Đề. Thì nghe thì extra meaning. I don't have to need to simplify this a little bit. Okay. Chinese doctors. Okay. This is about nguyện về bệnh hoạn. It's about the fact that about sicknesses. When you're sick, usually when you're sick, you don't have a lot of people who, especially in our society, who spend the time to take care of you. You're alone by yourself. It's even worse when you're sick and you're poor and you have no family, no relatives, no house even to turn to, which is the case nowadays in this economy for us. Okay? Cái thời buổi này là thời buổi như vậy, là không nhà không cửa, mất nhà mất cửa, còn bệnh họ không đủ thuốc, không có tiền mua thuốc nữa, không có bảo hiểm nữa. Okay? So that's terrible, and this Dharma door here will help with that, would help with the healing, would help with the family, would help with the basic necessities, and as well as luxury necessities to some. Okay? And ultimately accruing of blessings to become enlightened. In terms of healing, the Chinese doctors, they can be categorized into 4 kinds. The clever, the skillful, the sagely, and spiritual. Thì bên Đông y có 4 trình độ khác nhau. Công, xảo, thánh, thực. For the clever is that they need to take their finger and feel your pulse before they diagnose what the problem is. Have you seen any of those?
Yes.
Okay, you've seen those, right? Me too.
Several pulses.
Okay. The skillful, xảo, they need to ask you. You need to ask questions. That's a higher level. They ask questions and they find out. They don't need to feel you. Okay, they know from your answers. Okay, for example, you say, "Doctor, my back hurts." He look at you. What did you do last night? They knows what the problem is. Okay. Xảo là phải hỏi là biết cái bệnh gì. Cái giỏi thì không cần bắt bạc. Number 3 is sagely. They listen. They listen to your voice. Listen to the way you walk. And they know what's ailing you. That's impressive. Có người trình độ ta nghe thôi, nghe cái giọng nói ta biết mình bệnh giỏi như vậy. Nghe cái âm thanh là they ask you to cough. You cough and I know what the problem is. Okay, so the base, the diagnosis on sound from listening. Isn't that incredible? And the 4th one is spiritual. They look. One look and tell me what the thing is, what the problem is. So, for example, Thức, the guy, Jimmy's doctor here, that's his number 4. He uses his spiritual eye to look at the thing. For example, he says on the herpes patients, many of those colonels and generals who have herpes, okay, he looked and he said, he saw a chicken. So he told them to go home and eat chicken, and the herpes sores disappear immediately. It's a kind of herpes where you need to eat protein, high level of protein, in particular chicken. Then it cures it, it heals it. Isn't it fascinating? That's a look, an example of a look. Cái ông nào không giỏi lắm, nhiên ta bị herpes, bị kìa herpes. What's herpes in Vietnamese?
Bệnh lậu.
Huh?
Bệnh lậu hả?
No. No, this is like the lips that gets.
It's like a fever blister.
Yeah, it's a blister kind of thing. It's not the only.
There's lots of, but they're all in the same. viral. They're different. Yeah,
Cold sores.
Yeah,
Different kinds.
there are a lot of different kinds of herpes.
Shingles are a
Yeah.
form of
Yeah.
herpes.
Different kind.
Yeah.
Cái loại bệnh này mà nó lỡ ra nó bị lỡ tùm lum la lỡ đầy chỗ hết á. Xong rồi không chữa được, lỡ xong thời gian nó biến mất, xong lỡ lại bao giờ chữa bệnh là mình đời kiếp từ cả đời luôn. Bây giờ chưa chữa chữa không được. Tại ông nào cũng nhìn cái đó, mấy ông tướng tả từ xưa mà bị bệnh nhiều hút mà hoa mà thành ra ông này ông nhìn thấy con gà nó về đi ăn gà nó hết lợn. Giỏi, cái đó là thần đó. So an example is spiritual. You see, it's the same. He looks at Jimmy. No, he's out of whack. He right, and then he gives him the stuff. Okay, so that's the skills. But you see, the doctors cannot give you peace or health like this Buddha. Okay, this Buddha is even better than this. Nhiều khi còn hay hơn mấy cái trình độ này nhiều. Okay, why is that? Because when you look at illnesses, there are three kinds. Tại bệnh có ba loại. One, the first one is of the four great elements being out of whack. Okay, cái là bốn tứ đại nó bị lệch ra. What's the four great elements? Our body is made of the earth element, the water element, the wind element, and the fire element. Fire is your body heat. The wind element is your breath, right? You cannot live without breathing. What's the earth element? What is solid? Your muscles, your bones, okay? And what's the other one? The water is your blood and all the watery stuff in your system. That's the four great elements. When the four great elements are in harmony, you have no sickness. Cái tứ đại mà nó được thăng bằng thì không có bệnh. Bệnh là tại vì cái tứ đại nó bị trật. Okay? So far so good? That's number one. The most common kind that doctors know of are they recognize the symptoms of the four great elements being out of balance. Okay?
So the doctor before from the slide before, they are working on those four elements.
Yes. That's what the worldly Dharma is about. The worldly Dharma is that they need to work on like four great elements. Okay. Cái pháp thế gian pháp là có thể chữa được cái bốn cái bệnh của bốn tứ đại, của tứ đại. So far so good. The doctors can heal the four great element illnesses. When they're out of balance, they restore balance. Is how they heal you. That's how you get help. The second kind of disease, illness, is caused by ghosts and spirits. Okay, this is when you need to go and see Rosemead Temple because they have some people, some healers who go over and heal. Phải sư cô, cái này phải tới chùa báo ân, tại chùa báo ân có người tới chữa bệnh này. Right? Because they don't give you, those people, they don't give you medicine. They don't give you anything. They go to you their own chi, their own human energy to heal. Okay, that's a form of healing, which is between 1 and 2. It's not entirely number 2. They talk like they know it's number 2, but they're not directly dealing with number 2, the ghosts and spirits. They give you relief. Okay, but this is where you go to like the Hindus. This is real. This is not superstition, folks. You go to India and they have healers, or they go to Penang and they have all those islands in Asia or Hong Kong. They have healers. Okay, and basically the healer, the second form of sickness is due to the presence of ghosts. Okay, they deal with the ghosts, which are behind the sicknesses. That includes toothaches. Okay, I think I told you guys before an example of Guan, who you remember a few weeks ago came to Bolsa at the other Sung Yin Zen Center, and he had a toothache when we were in our Chan retreat, and in order to avoid breaking the retreat, I taught him a way to deal with it, and he recited his mantra and healed. Otherwise, he would have had to drive him to see Randy back then. Okay, so this is why you do mantras. The mantras deal with the ghosts and spirits.
Even the toothache is a ghost and spirit?
Yeah, absolutely. Even toothaches. Yeah. You didn't know that, huh? There's so many things you don't know, I mean. Gosh. Okay.
So the ghosts would come because retribution or just because they want to bother you?
Both. Both retribution. Retribution because he was arrogant. he thought his kung fu was higher than me and became arrogant. At that time, he could read my mind. Some of it. So he thought he's cool.
The guy with the toothache?
No, Charlie.
Sure, too.
Is that the kid who could fly?
Huh?
Is that the guy who could fly?
No.
Charlie. Which one's Charlie?
Charlie's very low level. But he could do Dabe Jo, the Great Compassion Mantra, 6 seconds. That's the kids that I taught. 6 seconds. He's the fastest of all the shamis in Long Beach Monastery. Were you there? No, you were before your time. Because we Long Beach Monastery 10 years ago, 12 years ago was a training ground for the young monks, the novice monks, the baby monks. And Guan used to be 13 years old and was in my group. And Heng Chan was taking care of the older boys.
Wait a minute, you mean Charlie Chan?
Yes.
Charlie Chan.
Yeah. And Heng Chan, have you heard of Heng Chan? Heng Chan is in charge of the bigger boys, so he has 3 groups. The untouchables, meaning no one wants them anymore. Okay. That's the one that Heng Chan gave to me, and I rejected them, so they became untouchable. Okay. No one wants them. Yeah. So they do as they please. And then Heng Chan takes care of the older boys where they have the advanced dharmas, okay, and they have strong mantra, Dabe Jo, and all those things. And I get the reject where the middle boy where they want to practice but not that much, but they wouldn't listen to Heng Chan. And Heng Chan doesn't have any patience for them, and they way too stupid. Okay, they wouldn't listen to all instructions. They do what they want. In the middle age, where 13, 12, 11,
they're very difficult.
They're more concerned about cookies and sweets and ice cream and
getting into mischief
than cultivation. I get that group. Okay, and I taught them, and they turned out to be their level exceeds the Heng Chan's group. Heng Chan's group, none of them. Well, one got into first dhyana, but then he got into trouble very quickly. Guan is my top boy back then. He could do Dabe Jo in 5 seconds. Why did I do that? Because they're lazy. We were supposed, all our group was supposed to maintain Dabe Jo 300 times a day. 300 Dabe Jos a day. Every single day, 7 days a week. 4th of July doesn't count either. Every day is the same for us. Okay? 300 Great Compassion mantras. That's about 84 lines. Your medicine master mantra is only 11, something like that, right? It's 84, 8 times longer. Okay, a good one, that Hang Chang does it in about 17 seconds. He said, very proudly. That's very fast. He can go down to about 13, but then that's his peak. My second best boy, Butin, was about 13, 12. The next group is Goan is the only one who made it to 5 seconds, 5, 6 seconds.
This is not
Mississippi 1, Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3, Mississippi 4, Mississippi 5, he's done.
But it's not like really reciting, it's like a special thing.
Every single syllable. 5 seconds.
Yeah, I can recite all the states in 1 second.
Huh? What? Who said so? Who said 1 second?
Huh? No, I was joking. Not about something else.
So, for example, text Shuranga mantra, Hang Chang can do it about 3.5 minutes.
Oh my God.
Of course, I know that.
Is it like a focus? Like you would just think about like seeing the thing, the whole.
Every single syllable, one after another. Okay.
What is the objective?
To get through 300.
That's just to prove you can do it.
Concentration.
Why did I do that? Why did we do that? Because they're lazy. If you make them do 300, Hang Chang's assignment is that everyone needs to do 300
a day.
And to show you prove your manhood, the big boys they all went for it. They all did 300 a day. Comes to our small group, our young boys, try to tell them to do 300. If you make them cultivate more than 1 hour, they lose interest. So in order to make them meet the quota, they can do it in half an hour. 300, half an hour. That's it. Then they spend the other half hour playing.
I know. Because you say it normally, it's like 3 hours just to say it 100 times. I mean, that's
So
normal.
300 times 3 hours, isn't it?
Something like it's if you say it like the MP3, it takes
Yeah, it's
all
about
day.
about an hour, about an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah.
If you fast. Sư cô nghe cái hiểu trước tụi tôi nó đừng bỏ đừng mà chùa Long Beach á, tụi nhỏ dạy tụi nó cái thằng trước nó tới đó thằng đó là thằng lẻ nhất. So he beats all the big boys. The big boys were scrambling around. They were lying through their teeth, claiming they do.
Well, if you make them recite it out loud, you know whether they can do it or not.
It doesn't work like that. But anyway.
It doesn't, Master?
No.
And whenever I learned anything.
But we caught them. See all these guys, because you can no longer make sounds, Randy, when you recite that fast. It doesn't come out. Okay? So the way the resorted that do that in my group, we did it, and then I was stupid enough to tell them we did it. So it put so much pressure on the big boys. They all lying through their teeth, including Hang Chang. They said, I can do it in 3-4 seconds. I said, okay. What happens when you do it in 3-4 seconds? They say, You cannot lie about it. It's a state that you have to be there. You cannot fake it. So all these guys say, I can do 2-3 seconds, 4-5 seconds. You ask them, what state are you in? They try to describe it to you. You don't know what you're talking about. So only go I know, and I know about the 5 and 6. None of them knows about it. Anyway,
that's cute.
So the point is that the answer to your question is sometimes you teach them because of the expedient, but it's not that important. Speed is not that important.
But I'm just saying,
Yes.
I still have some question on the gods.
Thank you. Yeah, I get sidetracked.
If it's by retribution, then we have to take it. But if it's not, because of retribution, it's just because they want to bother, then it would be easier, or at least I have the right to fight back.
Yeah, of course.
But
even if it's no retribution, you should fight back. There's nothing wrong with fighting back.
But then you are delaying the rather just pay now and then. Right?
You fight back and they escalate. That's another form of speeding it up the payment. You don't be too worried about it. We all have different objectives.
Okay.
They collecting, so they say, okay, you want to collect? Here, try to collect more from me. Okay, that would work out that way too. Yes.
Where does this healing level apply in relation to exorcism?
Exorcism is a possession by a ghost. And all you do is go away. And that's it.
So this healing of the illnesses that are caused by the ghosts and the spirits.
It is a form of possession.
It's that same level of.
Right. This good question. Như là người ta bị ma nhập hay sao? Ma nhập là cái loại cái nhì đó. Number 2 is something that doctors cannot help.
It takes a spiritual healer to do that.
Case in point, I received an email from Thomas Meyer. Remember Thomas Meyer? He said, "Oh, how are you? Oh, I disappeared on you. Just like that, I did up in the mountain doing my master's thesis." Okay. He's possessed by he has manic depression. And so he's possessed by a female ghost who's very attached to him. She likes him a lot. Okay, and it's something that the doctors don't understand yet, because they go through swings of depression or through a very high level of excitement. Okay, and it's very difficult to deal with it going through extremes like that. And all they can do is they try to numb it, but they're only addressing the symptoms. They're not dealing with the ghosts and spirits. Yes.
Did the ghost find him? Like, how would a ghost know who to go to? Like, did he owe him in the past?
Probably.
Master, I thought he liked her.
He doesn't know that it's a she.
I think he does.
I just know it's a she. No, he doesn't.
No?
No. I just know it's a she because of when Thomas came near me. That's when she manifests.
Manic depression. People, they are possessed by ghosts.
Yeah, most mental illnesses
is caused by ghosts.
Or spirits or living beings that we killed in the past, they're coming back for revenge.
Yeah.
That's what Master Shun was.
Now they come and possess your body, take over your life.
Especially schizophrenia, people that hear voices, that kind of stuff.
At that time, the four
They
great
do hear those
elements
are
is
real
out of
voices.
balance.
We just cannot hear unless you're spiritual.
The four great elements is out of balance.
They're not necessarily out of balance. See, there's no symptoms, no signs of the four great elements out of balance. That the doctors can see. Okay, so this is a case where the doctors cannot help you because they cannot see what the problem is. You have to wait until the problem is manifested before they can prescribe the medicine.
So they keep going by hit or miss.
Right.
In between.
So, for example, in the case of exorcism, for example, nothing wrong. I mean, they seem to be normal, right? I mean, the body is working just fine. And so on, but it's driven by a ghost. So in that neck of the wood, where the Catholics they use the God and all this Dharma to evict the ghost, but most of the time it doesn't work, because sometimes they're powerless against it. The ghosts sometimes are stronger than God in terms of spiritual powers.
What about forgetfulness, like Alzheimer's? Is that possessed by ghosts too?
Yes. much more powerful. Okay? And what happened is that this guy, the problem with this is that they don't know themselves. So I tried, for example, to tell Thomas, you should take this manic depression thing here seriously because you need to commit to getting rid of it. Yeah, that sounds good. I take it seriously, but then and then they get sidetracked because they come over, they sneak in, and they make you do certain things. Okay, it's very difficult. Okay, so
he doesn't realize he has that.
I just try to help him. He doesn't really believe it.
So I'm still kind of, for me, I'm still fuzzy about the relationship between retribution and fighting against the ghost. On one case, if it's a retribution and we rather pay now, so but then if we fight,
you don't have to pay now. If you can escape the realm, you go beyond the reach. They can't reach you anymore. Sometimes it's better that way. I'm just saying, do not try to renege on the retribution. Do not try to avoid it. Okay, but if sometimes it's more efficient to avoid it, the mode of operations find the most efficient way to deal with it. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Sometimes all you have to do is go beyond the range of the gun of their cannons. Then you can't shoot at you anymore. Then you move on to the next group. It's more efficient that way. But the bottom line is that you should not be afraid to confront it when you must. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? Yes.
But he doesn't know.
Any questions?
But we don't have to pay the retribution now. It depends on the case.
Yeah, there are many ways to do it. Either you delay it, or sometimes it's better to pay it now. Sometimes you pay part of it, and then you and so on. It varies. There's no fixed formula. Okay. Yes.
But people that have these problems don't generally know what the problem is, Master, and how are they going to do anything about it? They don't understand what it really is.
Good question. So what do you do? Since the one who is sick and they have all these things, what do they do? Huh?
That's what I'm asking. They don't know what to do.
I'm asking you too. What would you do?
I first have to recognize what the problem was with my
But
son.
you can't recognize it. What do you do?
That's right. You just keep on living the way you are. That's what most people do.
At least one example is by a plant to help.
What about this guy's job is to meddle with people's tooth problems? How come he's not sick?
That's what he cultivates. Cultivation.
How come he's not? Can you tell me?
Because he's cultivating.
Because that's what he does every day. That's how he earns his living. Right? You're a nurse. That's what you do. You deal with people's sicknesses. You heal them.
Well, then, if
you remember the finger?
Yes, and if
that's what happens when you meddle.
Right.
Okay, and he's meddling
Right.
in his entire professional career. How come he's not sick?
Because he knows how to cultivate.
No, he doesn't.
Blessings.
But eventually they wear out too.
Eventually.
Have like a bank account.
It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. You have protection from a prior blessings. Okay. In one side, you're here to receive the blessings of good health from prior life. Whatever you did in prior lives to receive blessings, you have blessings for good health. That's what you have right now. And in earning a living, you are meddling and you are going against that account. What you do every day, okay? And every day you meddle, you have one more guy sitting in front of your house and your office waiting for a chance to take a shot at you. But they can't because there's something in front of them that blocks them from seeing you, from getting to you. That's what's called blessings. Now you know why blessing is so important.
just deviating from the guy who doesn't know he has a problem.
Right. But he's just fine. Look at him. He's look happy to me.
But then you're talking about somebody else who's not happy. He is too.
Well, you want happiness, don't you? Make up your mind. Wouldn't you rather be happy and worry about all these ghosts and sickness and spirits? Who cares? As long as you're happy, right?
But it doesn't mean that he's without ailment or without any kind of.
You don't know. You don't know.
At all.
You don't know.
What
he did right is that he helped a lot of monks and nuns with the teeth problems. And what it means is that now he has another layer in front of him because he's a good guy. He helped me once. I went to his shop once, a long time ago. Okay, and
he didn't help.
He doesn't even remember that. He's seen so many of us.
Really?
Okay?
I don't even remember.
You see? He has so many of us. So now he has a ghost who comes to him and want to cause him a toothache. Now he comes to me right here today, and he says, "Oh, Randy is here. Let's go and pay him a visit." He shows up here, and then what does he see? He sees me. And wait a minute. If I caused him to have a headache this morning in my assembly, how does it look to the rest of my faithful? Right? Now he has one more shield in front of him. What is that called? Blessings again. Not necessarily prior life, but this lifetime. Could be. You never know. Or could be just the opposite effect. He may look at me and say, "Oh, this guy, this voter, he is really bad dude. I'm going to embarrass this guy, so he's going to give him a headache and a toothache right now." Okay, so it could happen the exact opposite thing. Okay, you never know. See. You never say. You see,
you're talking about
there's
sometimes
no absolute security here.
And you have certain things.
It may work under this week. Next week it may not work either.
So whenever you feel like a pain somewhere, that's a ghost getting to you?
Don't get paranoid. No, it's
Don't worry, Kim.
Huh?
Entrances.
What for? She got it already.
Did she get it?
No, I'm kidding. Nói tụi nó cần gồ rồi, nó cần sợ thêm, thành đừng giảng nhiều, giảng càng nhiều họ càng sợ sệt. Bây giờ không dám tu nữa, đùng để quỷ thần nó đang quýnh tu. Of course. What's the big deal? It has always been the case. Now you know more doesn't mean that you should walk around and oh my God, it's gonna happen now. It's no big deal. You're like this all your life so far. Okay? So anyway, that's cause of ghosts and spirits. The third kind is karmic retribution. Okay? Nghiệp và trả. Cái loại bệnh thứ ba là nghiệp và trả. Okay? What's the difference between the ghost spirits and karmic retribution? Anyone?
That's from
Khác biệt thì ba cái hai là gì?
Karma's previous, so before you got here.
What about the ghosts and spirits? Same thing?
It's the case that your spiritual power won't work with that.
Yeah. Good boy. Make sure you fix the printer thing.
You're going to have a lot more blessings.
Biết hai cái ba gì không? Cái thứ ba đó nó thường thường nhỉ. Nó trì mình được, mình trì nó không được. Là mình phải trả. Mình có tu bao nhiêu võ, bao nhiêu thần thông, quên nó bụng. Dạng như lửa, đốt vàng cũng cháy, đốt sắt cũng cháy, đốt gì cũng cháy. Nó gặp nước thì đó là cái kèm, nó bị trì theo. Cái này là thứ ba. See that? Thấy không? Thấy bệnh là hay không? Bên Phật giáo nó sâu xa như vậy. Nó thấy hết từng trường hợp ba loại khác nhau. Phải dùng phương tiện khác nhau mà chữa. Chứ còn cái tụng ngoại đạo nó tới rồi Smith nó nói là tôi đuổi quỷ đuổi ma vậy. Nó rồi. Gặp cái loại thứ ba đuổi. Nó đâu phát nó đâu biết là nó bị cái loại thứ ba. Nó cũng hiểu có cái loại là thứ ba. Mà cái nghiệp phải trả cái nghiệp. Tại cái tụi nó hô hào như là tụi bắt đầu. Thằng Đường nó có hiểu cái gì là đại thường cái Okay, any questions?
So the 2 and 3, the 3 is also caused by ghost, but there is no way you can fight against.
Yeah.
But it's still the ghost is asking for that.
Yeah. But it's not a whole lot you can do against it. Okay. So you might as well pay it off.
That one you have
yeah,
to pay.
That one. Okay, I pay. I pay for you. Okay, I pay. I'm not running away. Got that? See, depends. This I explain in Vietnamese that this is why Mahayana is so sophisticated. Okay, those Hindus or those externalists who claim they can handle the ghosts and spirits, they cannot handle number 3.
But medicine master can.
Only Mahayana can. Okay, why is that? I give an example of why it doesn't work. If you kill them in the past, they want their life now. They're not going to stop. Cái loại thứ ba là mình giết người ta, kiếp trước mình giết người ta, cắt người ta, còn giết người ta, giết cái sanh bạn, bây giờ tôi đã loại bạn. This is why the killing precepts is number 1 in for you lay people because of that. The killing karma you create is very, very difficult to undo. Imagine yourself being so happy and someone comes and takes it away from you. Okay? You want revenge. This is why you don't want to kill. Mahayana. You do not want to engage in killing things to make a living. Stay away from those types of industries. Stay away. Because you are in for big retribution. Okay? Got that? Yes?
Even though you said eating meat isn't killing, is eating meat still a part of that causing suffering? So they'll still
It's part of the cycle, even though it's not direct.
So will that be...
So it's not as grave as thing.
Okay, but the being could still hold a grudge against you.
Yes, absolutely, because it says if you didn't eat the meat, then the butcher would not have killed me. So you are indirectly responsible for my death. And they can hold a grudge. And those grudges are very, very difficult to undo. Very difficult. That's why the first thing you do is say, okay, let me go away for me. It ain't going to work because they're not willing to go away unless you kill them. When you kill them, guess what happens? They come right back. They come right back at you. With with more power, with more hatred. Not only you, but the person who intervenes. Got that, Danny? He's not only now wants your life, also the guy who meddles as well.
Oh boy.
It's a very delicate situation.
It's
Nghe hiểu không? Can thiệp với bà, nó tới nó đòi bà những người trước rồi nó còn đòi bà mình nữa, tại mình dám can thiệp. Bây giờ muốn giết nó đi, giết nó trở lại, nó sống, nó sanh lại, nó tới nó đòi bà mình tiếp. Yes.
Master, what's the difference between the medicine master mantra and the Shavangama mantra?
Different use.
Different use?
Different use.
Different length also.
That's a big difference.
First I gotta learn it and then I'll worry about how long it is.
So, yes, question here? Any question?
Yeah, at the risk of
At the risk of?
elongating this, and this is something you could perhaps address in a question and answer thing on the net if you wanted. The question regarding recitation.
Mm.
Hong Kong dame wears a counter.
I don't have a watch. What time do I have?
It's 14.
Quarter after, almost a quarter after.
Quarter after?
3:14.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
See, I usually have a watch somewhere.
And
Yes.
you were talking about the quick recitation.
Yes.
What is the value of quick recitation as opposed to doing it very slowly and deliberately and thinking about every...
No real thing, right?
And then there's also mantras that are translated and mantras that are transliterated, which mean nothing.
Right.
They're basically Chinese, it's a phonetic version of, say, the original Sanskrit, but using Chinese characters. I'm not clear on why.
They just have secret meaning. They're not supposed to be translated.
Okay.
Even the transliteration is inaccurate, but still that contains the essence of
the sound contains the essence.
Yes.
Okay. And what if you were to translate them and recite them in English?
You probably cannot translate. It's not translatable because sometimes it has secret meanings.
Okay.
That's not explained.
Okay.
And sometimes they have many more meanings.
But if I don't know the secrets and I translate them and it has no meaning to me, then what is it?
You can't translate it.
Right, but I say, then what's the value of reciting?
Reciting it is that you retain the original meaning. You're not altering it. Okay. When you translate, you're altering it.
Yeah, the mantra themselves have a certain power, don't they?
Yeah.
What was the answer to the little vial that she wears? Is that what you were talking about?
No, I'm talking about a counter.
Wears a counter.
Oh, a counter.
She wears a counter.
That little capsule.
That little capsule has I believe the medicine.
They don't last. Don't buy those things. They're a pain in the neck.
Like the other night, we were going for a walk and she had it on and she erased it. She said, I think it was 32 and I need to go to 108.
Okay. but those little capsules that you wear, are they of any benefit to wear?
Yeah, they help. She's referring to the Shranga mantra.
Right.
And, it helps. It's good. You have some protection. And some weight around your neck as well, so you won't. Yes.
What if I accidentally washed it in the washer?
Wash what?
The Shurangama mantra.
You are in trouble.
Drowning karma.
That's how big retribution
Nice and low.
Now what?
We all put healing hands on you, Jen.
That's okay. I know artificial resuscitation.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. Sorry.
Man, I never saw you make a face before, Master.
Well, it's one of those things where it have some advantages for wearing it, and if you don't do it right, you make a mistake, you also have to pay the price. It's both ways. It works both ways. It's not, always.
When we sleep, we wear that it's not.
You wear it when you take a shower?
No, when I sleep.
You wear it when you go to the bathroom? When you go to the toilet, you wear it?
No.
Okay. You wear it when you sleep? There's nothing wrong with it.
Are you supposed to take it off?
No. I'm just setting him up so that he does my printing.
Better do it the way he said.
One track minded. No, it's all right.
It's okay. Because sometimes when
actually, it's a good thing. Actually, it gives you protection.
Yeah, because when I don't wear it, that come and bug me.
Yeah, and it shows up later in either in this sutra or Earth Floor Sutra. No, it's Earth Floor Sutra in chapter 5 or 6. It explains about the dreams and the ghosts and so on. It's common in your case. You hang around, you go attend a lecture, it will explain that section clearly. Okay, so let me hold my thunder for a while. Okay. So we'll come to that.
Do left-home people wear things like that, or
do we wear things like that?
Yeah.
We should, but we don't. We really don't believe it. Doesn't work. He asked them. It doesn't work.
So it's only for us.
Superstition.
Oh, yeah.
Superstition.
Who's smart enough to seek additional protection? See, we blasé about it. When you're around it with all day long.
Yeah, but you went to secret school, so that's.
Yeah, we have our other means of protection.
That's right.
Yeah, we like to think. Any other questions? So I'll give you an example about the karmic retribution. That is in Mahayana, for example, one of the hardest knot to untie is the hatred from having lost your life. Biết đại thừa mình có cái phần mà nó oán thù tại vì bị giết rồi. Khó gợi. It's very difficult. This is the cause for all the cancers and all the incurable diseases of the world. Okay, the demons are behind it. And they're very extremely powerful, and they're fueled by extreme hatred. They will not let go. Okay, so that's why it's rather delicate. That, for example, in Mahayana, you have dharmas that actually undoes the hatred invisibly. Okay, and that's what goes on.
What's the dharma?
For example, in the secret school, we have particular secret dharmas where we actually are helping undo the hatred.
Hatred.
Yes.
And this is from behind or from?
Invisibly. Okay. So it takes a while. It takes maybe more than one lifetime, or maybe more than a week. Depends on different circumstances. Depends on a lot of things. But actually, there's a dharma to undo the hatred. Okay. So, and part of that is this medicine master mantra as well. He does that as well.
So that's good. We're saying that every day.
Yeah. So actually, you're undoing a lot of hatred when you practice this dharma. There are many more dharmas in Mahayana as well. Okay. Does it answer your question, Mr. Printer? Okay, thank you. Any question? You see the sophistication in terms of sicknesses. See the worldly knowledge is only number one. Okay? The external is at best number two. Number three, you need Mahayana. Thấy cái mình sâu xa như sợ cái thế gian pháp chỉ là số 1 thôi, tụi ngoại đạo số 2, cao lắm là số 2, số 3 phải cần cái đại trường mình chọn từ đó. When you understand the delicacy, you cannot use brute force in number 3. It doesn't solve problems. You understand now? You see, sometimes you need to have all kinds of experience, and you need time, you need patience, you need all kinds of things to resolve it, because we're talking about, in most cases, hatred. Okay? If you kill somebody, it may take kalpas, it may take many, uncountable lifetimes before they can meet again. But once they meet with you again, oh boy, they're not letting go anymore, because they waited so long for that chance. Okay, any questions? Are we out of time? I think we should stop here today, don't you? I think we talked about enough about sicknesses. We stop at
We need to get on some happiness now.
yeah, we need to move on to greener pastures.
Yes.
And
pleasant things.
any final question before we wrap it up for today?
Does stupidity or unknowing of these are there any? Is that an excuse?
Stupidity is an excuse?
Yeah.
You could try and explain it to them.
Oh yeah, sure.
To see if it
But
works.
it's just like anything else. You
Thing,
can't
though.
get away from it.
Huh? You could give it a try, but you never know. You never know.
Well, I mean, it's like you know that killing is wrong, but yet you go into a war and you kill.
Yeah, right.
But are you thinking of the retribution of your karmic retribution at that time when you're?
Well, let me put it this way. Suppose someone comes to you and say, I want to take your life. What would you do? Assuming that say
Well,
you
you
can,
told us we don't do anything. You just say take your best shot.
You can flick a wrist. You have enough spiritual power to flick your wrist and kill that person. What would you do?
I wouldn't want to do that. Kill him back.
He's gonna kill you.
Well.
How about he's gonna kill your wife? I mean your husband.
I don't have one.
Or he's gonna kill your daughter. What would you do?
It depends on your wisdom.
It depends. He sounds like a lawyer now.
I love it, Randy. I love it when you do that.
What would you do?
But that has a lot to do with it, though.
Huh?
And your wisdom does have a lot to do with it.
So what would you do? I'm asking you not about your wisdom. I'm asking about what would you do?
Take your best shot.
Somebody's about to pull a trigger to kill the person you love. Whether it's you or your wife or your children or your father, your mother, you know.
What happens if you know that's the final death for your spouse? And then after that, you're free.
And then you can stop it with a flick of your wrist.
But we stand in the way
What
of
would you
that.
do? What would you do? Right now. Make it very personal. I'm asking you about a person you love. Okay? Your son, your daughter, your wife, your husband. Someone is about to kill that person. And you can stop it. You can save that person you love with a flick of the wrist.
Of course I would do it.
You would do it, right?
Absolutely. No question about it.
You wouldn't even hesitate, would you?
No, I wouldn't.
See, I'm getting an honest answer. What about the rest of you more wiser people?
The only way to stop is to kill this person, you're saying? There's nothing else to do?
That's it. He's about to pull the trigger. What would you do?
Stop
Now it's your dad now, your beloved dad.
Guess that's karmic retribution, isn't
He
it?
cultivates. He can
Yeah.
He'll be all right. He cultivates. He'll be all right.
Probably my kids will help you shoot you. Make sure you got that thing loaded. Let's not make a mistake.
Let me borrow this for you.
What would you do? Huh? RJ.
Isn't that his karmic retribution? So you're not supposed to kill us.
You don't know. You only know is that he's about to pull the trigger. Okay, and with that he's going to take your dad's life or your mother's life. And you can stop this person. What would you do?
You said we don't kill in Mahayana, so I guess you don't kill that guy and just let him do his thing. I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's what. I mean, is that what you tell us?
No wonder you're not the favorite. That's clear.
It goes to wisdom. It's just like when the sixth patriarch, when that monk tried to come and kill him, he just said, okay, you can't chop off my neck, take my head, because I only owe you money, I don't owe you a life. So it depends on how deeply.
What would you do?
Me?
You're not answering me. Yes, I want an answer. Come on, folks.
I would do it.
Yes.
I would do it.
You would do it. Okay, you would do it too. He wouldn't do it. Even his okay, never mind. That's not.
Who's on the other side of the gun first? You have to clarify. You know, if it's a spouse, then you probably would say, okay, let me make sure your gun's loaded. You know.
So can we think like maybe because that person, let's say he want to kill A, who's my relative. Maybe
No, I make it very personal. You have no excuses.
Okay.
Let's say your beloved wife.
Maybe then.
Never mind. Okay.
Hurry up. You can't be biased because she's right here.
Maybe
your favorite son. There's no maybe. I'm talking about favorite son now.
Right. So maybe
there's an Iraqi about to pull a trigger on a gun placed on his temple.
Maybe because my son already have a.
What would you do? It's no maybe. What
Don't
would you do
never
right
mind
now?
maybe.
Don't
Make
think.
a decision now.
If you see
Now.
someone about to pull a trigger on your son's.
Let him do it.
Okay, he wouldn't do a thing. Okay.
Because they might have a retribution.
That's
at all.
now. Do we need to? You need to make it personal.
I would probably pull the trigger.
You would pull the trigger. Okay. Okay, Mr. Faust. You cannot stand up and not.
I've been a police officer for 33 years.
Really?
Yes.
Oh God.
That means he likes
yes.
guns. That means he likes guns.
At the county issues.
So you pull the trigger, you stop it.
In certain circumstances, I try to avoid those circumstances.
But what if you can't? What would you do?
Then I'm between a rock and a hard place.
You have to make a choice now, at the moment. You cannot argue. You cannot decide. You cannot reason it out. What would you do?
I'm a very accurate shot. I
So you
can
can.
place 4 shots in different places and not kill a person.
Okay.
Make them miserable for the rest of their life.
You would do that. Okay, I go that far. Okay, who else? Who else? What would you do?
Me?
Yes.
I think that kind of situation, you won't able to have time to think. It's run by emotion.
That's right.
I don't think you will think about
you
retribution
will not even think
or
of
anything.
neutralizing him. You just want to save this person.
You're trained.
So
Yeah, you go for the head. You need to stop it.
my first response is either step in front of that person or to kill that person before he hurt somebody you like, because you won't think.
Just like him, no. I'm not talking like. I'm talking about love.
Oh.
Okay, never mind. I'm kidding you. Okay, how about Mr. Danny's son back there, my favorite?
Can you take
What would
the
you
shot?
do? What would you do?
Is it possible to take the shot?
Absolutely. You can. You are the only person left who can stop.
I mean, you let that.
You want me to take a shot? No, I won't.
You let the person shoot you instead of that person. Then if you die, at least you won't go to hell.
You may not have enough time. See, that's the problem. Okay? For that person to point a gun in your direction, that's not enough time for that. It's the killer's life or your loved one's life. What would you do? Yes. Sư cô làm gì? Sư cô bắn không?
Can you shoot the person's
Đó.
hand?
Nếu không bắn á, là nó giết người mình yêu thương. Làm gì bây giờ? Sư cô làm gì? I'm asking the nun now. She said, "Oh, don't notice me."
The hard part is Master set a condition that you have the power to kill, but he didn't say, Master didn't say, you have the choice to shoot him anywhere for him not to die and disable him. He just said, if you have a condition, this
is real. No, this is real. This is real. You know,
So I mean,
this is
what
real
I
life.
mean is we can shoot him to disable, but
No,
not to kill.
Yeah.
You do not
Yeah,
have the
that's what-
option here.
that's what I'm saying.
Because now it's between saving.
Yeah.
You have to choose between one life versus the other.
So
It's a different story.
I think everybody choose to
I know.
kill.
Yeah.
You recite Namo Guan Shi Yin Pu Sa.
This is why I like him so much.
What did he say?
Recite point name.
See, you guys are so stupid. I set you up and you and you were caught with your pants down.
Call on Guan Yin?
That's right. You asked for help.
Oh. Oh, God, Guan Yin, I forgot all about that. See?
You have the tools. Why do you think you come here? Because I teach you all these tools.
And we don't even know enough to use them.
Right.
I
That's
don't know.
right. This is why I have to remind you. You have all these tools available to you. Yes.
Master,
You do not need to inflict damage on others. You do not need to kill. See, I set you up. See, only he didn't fall for it. See, even the nun was, don't embarrass me.
But Master, that's not fair because you only gave us either
I don't have
let
to be
them
fair.
die or they die.
I don't have to be fair. I don't have to be fair. You see,
But
you have
that's
all
good,
these
Master.
tools.
That's good. That's really good
Yes.
the way you did
It
it.
took him a long time to think of that.
Hmm?
It took him a very long time to think of that. But if it
It
happened,
should not. It should not. It should not.
should
But at least he thought about it. Okay, at least on my case, I completely blank.
Yeah, because
instantaneous.
because of his long exposure to Mahayana, you understand that. You get there's certain things. Number one that I'm teaching you is that number one, do not kill. That's my message to you. If you do not kill, if had any of you been honest and say, Master, I would never kill, then I say, hey, but there's another option. Okay? That person has a right to kill someone else, but you do not have the right to kill that person. You do not. You do not. I'm sorry. No matter what your excuses are, you have no right. Even for the sake of saving someone else's life, you have no right to kill anyone else.
Because that's his problem. If he want to kill, that's his problem. That's his karma.
That's right. That's right.
Why do you take that into your karma, right? That's why I was thinking that it's your problem.
You're not solving the problem, folks. You're not solving the problem by killing.
That's right. Two wrongs don't make a right.
Now you have that person angry at the victim as well as angry at you. You have threesome now to resolve. You're not solving any problems. You're aggravating the problems. You got that? Okay? Had you been honest with you, Master, this goes against everything you've been teaching me so far. And say, you understand brownie points. See, some of you understand. This is why we explain about precepts, folks. Precepts tells you that no matter what, I ain't going there. You see what my illustration? Precepts? We have precepts called not killing. We're not going there no matter what. No matter what. Because it does not solve problems.
It only adds another one.
Just because you stop the person from killing the person you love, does that resolve the death? It doesn't. It doesn't at all. Nghe hiểu không? Nhớ nó quan trọng vậy đó. Chồng nó là đâu có nghĩa mà giải quyết vấn đề đâu. Đâu có giải quyết. Có những ba người bị luôn dính chung với nhau. Người phải trả nợ cho nó, mình phải trả nợ cho nó sau này nữa. Ba người, bây giờ nó kẹt, ba người kẹt với nhau. Thành cái giới nó quan trọng. Giới nó là gì? Không được giết. Chồng này mình không tới cho đâu. You see that? You see the importance of precepts now that says that I'm not going near that cliff. Period. Because it doesn't solve anything. It only makes it worse.
That was the first lecture I heard from you, Master, was when you were talking about 9/11 and all those people that died and why they died.
Most of you still don't understand.
Oh, I understood perfectly.
Yes.
Master, when you're asking the question, because we're not there, it's easy to say, but like if it happens to you, the reaction time needs to be much quicker than that. So how do you get yourself to think of it to recite it when?
Very good, very good. The first thing you do is that you do not kill. That's the first thing.
You have to work it
when you do that, then naturally, then the second option comes along. You see that? Because it's still in, this is my teaching point for you today. Because if anywhere in the corner of your mind you say, I can still have the option of killing, the second option of calling for one yin's help, it never comes. You understand me? It's so important for you to understand that.
Killing is not an option.
It's not an option before you can call Kuan Yin. If anywhere you have any hesitation about Kuan Yin, it's not going to work. Yes.
What do you say? You just say Nama Kuan Yin, or what do you say? You scream Kuan Yin, come help me.
Please help. Yeah.
Kuan Yin, help me. That's it.
Yeah. Amitabha, please help. Medicine Master Buddha, please help.
Amitabha can get you to heaven.
He can help too.
He can help too.
He can help too. Because if at that very moment of your utmost sincerity, he'll come. Okay? You should have no hesitation, no, because in your mind, I still can, I still can stop it. Then the connection is not there. You got that, Danny? Because the first thing I want you to remember that it's not okay to kill. It's not an option. No matter what I tell you, no matter what you hear, it's not for you.
Don't want to go there.
Got that? Nghe hiểu không? Mình nhất định không được hiểu. And that's where you can get the response. Don't go there next time. Now that you know about my tricks. You say, I'm not falling for this. I still know I have this option. I could still pull the trigger, and then if I don't like it, I can call one yin or Amitabha to come and help. Okay? And you're not sincere. You're not going to get a response.
So it's like going to Pure Land at your death. You have to be really sincere.
Absolutely.
That's the same kind of thing.
If you're sincere, it will get all the way to his ears, and he'll come right away. If you're not sincere, this person is not committed. He's playing with both fields. He's testing me out.
So that's the same kind of sincerity.
Yes. That's what I want to stick in your system. Absolutely no killing. No matter what. You need to come to you and say, okay? You don't stop. You don't kill. Got that? Giờ nó hiểu nhớ hơn tí không? Cái nhớ nó quan trọng dễ sợ. You see, now you understand the beauty of Mahayana concept called Dharma, called precepts.
That's the most important.
No one understands it anymore.
Don't understand.
See, I've been teaching you about precepts the last couple of years. You see, you still don't understand, do you?
It's so bad.
The strength of that Dharma. Okay? You see, I will tell you why Danny knows to remember one yin. Because he does not believe in killing. He's the only one in the group who said, I'm not going there. All of you still are looking at that as an option. All of you, including the nun. Only he does not accept it. That's why he came.
He didn't either.
You see, Janice, it's not because he has time to think about it. Because Danny is slow.
No, he wasn't there.
No, I'm saying this is his normal mode. He says, I'm not going there. Am I correct, Danny? You're not, killing is not an option. Don't say no.
Yeah, you're right, because he said, could you stand in front of the bullet and take the bullet for the person? He said that wasn't.
But that's killing is not an option for me. Now, so what does he said, oh, that guy stand in front of him? No, it's not an option either. Okay, so what else does he have? Go one yin. That is the most sincere thing. You see? He's the only one amongst you all you preceptive. See?
Seamus,
That's the difference. Yes.
Master, you give us an option as if you would pull the trigger back on the other person if you had the gun. I would say no, but you said a flick of a finger. I mean, that's just so easy to do.
Yeah. Isn't it cool? Hey, right, isn't it cool? That's what spiritual power is for.
But Master,
I spared him.
I think this is a trick question because I think of going, but then is so much power that you have in such a split second, and that you in need condition that you have to be wise enough to say to be ingrained that you will call Guan Yin. If we don't know, you will just
but this is right? In some guy here in this direction says about your level of wisdom. That's precisely my test. Okay.
If you still consider killing that person, you have to think about it,
Right. You
and I would, it does come up to me. I mean, I'm not saying I'm beyond that. And if you put me in that situation, I don't know what's going to happen at that particular moment. But I definitely consider
it's one option
to taking that person out.
One option.
In my mind. I mean, I didn't say I didn't exclude it.
That's right.
I mean, so
that's
it's
right.
there. It's like
that's my point. I rest my case.
That's why you have
it's
to
no longer an option.
If
you understand precepts, the precepts teaches you that there's one hell. You don't believe it. You don't understand it yet. You see? You see the beauty of that? It doesn't help. This is why the Buddha taught us. Killing doesn't help. Even though you must, you feel you must, it's because of our ignorance. Thế thì cô hiểu tại sao vô minh chưa? Phá giới vô minh chưa? Thấy chưa? Trong đó cái vô minh mình cho mình phép mình nghĩ rằng là giết là một cái phương pháp để giúp. Không biết đâu. Tại vô minh mới thấy là giúp, chứ đâu có giúp đâu. Phật nói rõ ràng không có giúp mà vô minh nghĩ cho mình nghĩ. So I just explained to her that this is why earlier when I told her why we break precepts and out of ignorance and we enjoy it and that kind of thing, because our ignorance tells us that it's an option. Okay? Whereas the Buddha teaches us that it's not an option because it does not solve anything. It doesn't resolve anything. Teaching is very clear. Don't kill because it doesn't solve anything. What do? Wait a minute. What if it's someone I love? You see, I trick you, all of you.
You fell for it.
Only one person didn't fall for it.
So he's gonna fix the printer good today.
You see, all the faith you can talk about, faith and so on, that very moment that I should give you a test, you fail miserably, all of you. No faith in the Buddhist teaching. You call yourself Buddhist and go or something, and Master Sheha a disciple. You still don't believe in the teaching. See? Of course, the newcomers, you can't expect much from them anyway. So I'm kidding. See the beauty of the Dharma right there? Huh? It's so simple. It's so unequivocal. It's so absolute. Okay? There's no but and if. You don't kill. Period.
Right.
It's that simple.
Okay, well, this kind of explains why when the Buddha was going to die, he said, when they asked who's going to be our teacher, and I said, well, the precepts will be your teacher.
That's right. Because it's absolute.
Right.
It's absolute truth.
Okay.
Absolute essence of the teaching right there. Okay? All right, guys, let's do the transfers and then off we go.
Strong, lovely, cool, whatever.
No, that's okay.
What happened to my
You guys squeeze there, okay? Squeeze here. Come on. Okay. That's cool.
You guys are such good sports. I thought I would end it, but it would end 20 minutes ago. But like half an hour later, on one example.
We got the message.
It was a doozy.
May these merits and virtues
adorn the Buddha's pure land, retain the 4 kinds of kindness above, aiding the 3 evil paths below. May those who see and hear all bring forth the Bodhi mind. And when this retribution body is done, be all born of the land of utmost bliss.
Thank you guys.
See you.
I just said I wouldn't pull the trigger.
That's what me and Walk said also.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought Walk said he.
No, Walk said he would let the guy do things.
I say, after 3 years, we're thinking he's asking a straightforward question. We are stupid enough.